Have y'all seen the TikToks that China is putting out about all the secrets on how luxury items are made, and they're just slapping the names on it?
And we end today's show about luxury bags carefully handcrafted in China. Turns out your quote-unquote made in Italy luxury handbag might have more ties to Chinese factories than to Tuscany.
The way China is spilling the beans on these luxury brands, okay? But the DH girls try to tell y'all. They try to tell y'all, okay?
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a... This shit was $23 on Amazon.
Turns out that $800 handbag, that luxury artisan cookware, yeah, that all costs $7 to make in China. Your favorite woke corporation, they just slap their logo on it and sell it back to you for 100 times the regular price. And here's the kicker. The same corporations are out here crying about Trump's tariffs, claiming it would ruin business. No, what ruined business is out here lying to Americans while outsourcing jobs.
Some of Hermes products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
It was my first time shopping at Hermes, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China. Or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. Because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in Italy.
Hermes is in full-blown panic mode. Overnight, the company allegedly slashed prices across the globe. After Chinese factories exposed the truth they never wanted you to hear, the same manufacturers that Hermes trusted for years are now revealing their billion-dollar secret. And it's sending shockwaves through the entire fashion industry.
I've never seen so many Hermes bags lined up in front of me, let alone try every size and color on like I'm in Walmart. Best part is there's no sales assistant stalking you, no upsells, and you're only paying 20% of the price. These only range from $250 to $500. That's a steal. Manufacturers are exposing luxury brands for what the bags actually cost.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on. Show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
For their sweaters or like jumpers, they source from Changshu Sophia West Sweater Co. For their puffer jackets, they source from this company, Quanzhou Lulusen Fushi, Quanzhou Lulusen Garment. For their nightgowns, they source from this Shantou Longhu District, Jingzhi, Shantou Longhu区 Jingzhi Maozhi Chang. So if you're interested to get the same supplier as Zara, these are the options. All of these companies also sell their clothes like to individual customers, so you don't have to make bulk orders. You just need to find them on Taobao.
These aren't fake bag factories. They were the ones actually making the real Hermes bags, the same Birkins and Kellys that sell for $20,000 or more. And now, they're going public with what really happens behind those so-called Made in France tags.
Your Hermes says, made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not a quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Let's just say, it's not what luxury fans expected. From shady tricks and fake labels, to insider videos and viral TikToks, the entire illusion of high-end European craftsmanship is falling apart. And Hermes? They're scrambling to contain the damage. But it's too late. The truth is already out, and it's not going away. So let's break it down. For years, Hermes sold the image of handcrafted bags made by expert French artisans in pristine Paris workshops. You probably imagine someone in a white coat, carefully stitching leather by hand, with soft jazz playing in the background. But that picture, totally fake.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
When that Chinese man got on his app and said all the luxury items are made in China and they only go to Italy to have the tag put on it, the designer tag, and once that designer tag is put on it, now it can say made in Italy because only that small little percentage was actually made in Italy, but that's all it takes to say made in Italy. Now it makes it over here to our designer boutiques and we're spending thousands upon thousands of dollars for something that was in fact made in China, not Italy. I don't care how much you're spending on the thing. Chances are it is coming from China. The only part that was actually made in Italy was when they put the designer tag on there. And this is why the wealthiest of wealthy people buy inspired by items. Why? Why would you spend the whole thing? Listen, I did a whole series on Birkins, and in one of the, you can see it in my like viral things I have pinned up there, but one of the videos was talking about the Birkin sort of like Tupperware party that all the wealthy Upper East Side women in New York have. They're not spending money on real Birkins. They're not shucking and jiving for Birkin. They call the people over in China and get the same. Yeah, so if you know, you know that people actually have Birkin connects direct to manufacturer. And that's how they're getting them made. But the wealthy people, the people who are not like going through the foolishness of the Birkin game, the people who could care less because they don't need to look rich, they're actually not trying to look rich because they are wealthy. That's the difference. Those are the people I'm talking about. But y'all,
insiders and leaked receipts from Tanner Leatherstein reveal something shocking. Up to 80% of Hermès bags aren't made in France. They're made in China, and we're not talking about simple parts. These luxury bags are fully manufactured overseas. The leather cutting, stitching, threading, all of it. Then, Hermès reportedly ships those almost finished bags to France, adds a button or a small detail, and just like that, it's legally labeled Made in France. That's the trick. That's how they built the fantasy. So when Chinese factories started spilling the truth and backing it up with proof, Hermès snapped. The brand that sold exclusivity and French craftsmanship is now exposed for outsourcing most of the work, and people feel scammed.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
And I paid $1,700 for these at the Gucci store. I found these online, man. $9.99 in China. $9.99. You know, and I wore these in my intro. And seeing what I'm seeing, how China exposed everything, it just really made me rethink of all the money that I threw away. After finding out what I just found out about the US and China, you know, I want to say I'm highly ticked off. I'm highly upset. 3 years ago, I paid $450 for these Gucci slides at the Gucci store right here in Houston, Texas. And now China done exposed the fact that these shoes right here only cost 75 cents to produce. You know what? Real Gucci slides. I'm done. What the hell with these Gucci slides? You know what? Over here.
Meet Tanner Leatherstein, the man luxury brands wish didn't exist. He's not just another TikToker, he's a leather expert with a huge following, and he's built his name by doing one thing: cutting open expensive designer bags on camera to show what's really inside. He was the first to call out Chanel for swapping real gold for cheap plastic-coated metal. Then he went after Louis Vuitton, Bottega Veneta, and yes, Hermès too. And what did he find? That the leather in these so-called luxury bags is no better than what you'd get in a $100 knockoff. Even worse, He revealed that making a Birkin bag doesn't cost $14,000, or even close to $38,000. It costs around $600 to make, and that includes real leather and hardware. So what are people actually paying for? Not quality, not craftsmanship, just a logo and a fantasy.
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
My point is, I think it's crazy how designer brands have been selling things for thousands when China sell them on and literally they're so cheap. If the Chinese manufacturers are making the same, like the actual Birkins, and then they are also selling these on the side as well, technically this is an absolute fucking bargain because it's the exact same material as a Birkin.
Now imagine Hermes watching all of this explode online. Viral TikToks, millions of views, and the truth spreading fast. The secret's out. The show is over. Because those Chinese factories, they weren't making fakes, they were making the real bags. The same luxury Birkins and Kellys Hermes sells for tens of thousands. And then they exposed everything. They revealed that around 80% of the work is done in China, from cutting the leather to stitching the seams. Hermes just adds a small detail in France, slaps on a Made in France label, and sells it as pure French craftsmanship. They built a luxury empire on a lie, and now it's collapsing in real time.
This Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only used the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. The same leather as this one will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? And next, thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat seal edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. The zipper for one bag is 10 USD. And then the cost of human resource. Human resource cost will be 600 USD. Package. Now, this is not as expensive, it's 10 USD. So now, to sum those up, the total cost will be 1,400 USD for one Birkin out of factory. But why Hermes will charge you 38,000 USD for one bag? That's because more than 90% of the price is paid for its logo.
So what does Hermes do? Do they admit it? Apologize? Of course not. They start suing. Hermes is going after several Chinese factories for misuse of intellectual property and defamation. In other words, they're saying, how dare you tell the truth about our bags not being made in France? But here's the twist. Those same factories were under contract. They were legally making Hermes bags. And now that they've spoken out, Hermes is acting like they've never heard of them. Let's do the math. Hermes made $15.2 billion in 2024. That's millions of bags sold. If one Birkin takes 2 days to make, where's this secret army of French workers? It doesn't add up. It feels like a scam. And Hermes isn't alone. Prada, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, they're doing the same thing. They make 98% of the product in China, then attach one piece in Italy, just to slap on a Made in Italy label. It's not luxury, it's a trick. And people bought it because they believed in the label.
This is the Chinese supply behind product. Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Which Chinese factory supplies for Louis Vuitton? Let me tell you the secret. Louis Vuitton have many Chinese suppliers, but they just don't admit it. 50% of the Louis Vuitton bag are from these two places, Guangzhou City and Dongguan City. 90% of Louis Vuitton silk is from Wanshili in Hangzhou City. I have a friend who's a manager in the factory of Louis Vuitton, and he told me that the similar quality one just needs $50 US. This is crazy, right?
As more people find out the truth, resale prices are dropping fast. Buyers are realizing they paid $25,000 for a bag made in the same factory as a $400 knockoff. Tanner exposed bags that claimed to be made of fine calfskin, but were actually covered in cheap plastic-coated leather. Now, collectors are nervous, and buyers are angry. Because if Hermès isn't about real quality or expert craftsmanship, what did they actually pay for? The brand illusion, the big lie. Luxury brands convince the world that made in China means low quality. But that idea is outdated. Today, Chinese factories build top-tier leather goods. They have the materials, the skill, and the tech. In fact, many luxury labels use the exact same factories as mid-range brands, and even knockoffs. They just slap on a different label at the end. So when someone tells you a bag is made in China, it doesn't mean it's cheap. Sometimes it's better than the ones stamped made in France. People are now sharing stories of buying factory extras, bags without logos that are identical to $1,000 designer pieces. One creator even said her $5 UGG boots came from the same factory as the originals. The only thing missing? The brand name.
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Western media taught everyone that made in China means cheap, and made in Europe means luxury. But when you look closer, it's just smart marketing. These brands are run by private equity groups, churning out overpriced products for people who don't know the truth. And now that buyers are waking up, the luxury world is in full panic mode. Tanner Leatherstein isn't part of any brand. He's not selling anything. He's showing the truth, breaking down materials and calling out the lies. He even cut open his own $1,800 wallet collection just to see what he was really paying for. And what did he find? Disappointment, every single time.
Most of those bags I cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But it feels truly exceptional.
Let's be honest. These luxury brands wouldn't be so powerful without celebrities flashing their bags like trophies. You really think they're buying Birkins and Chanel just for fun? Most of them are gifted or paid to wear them. It's called strategic placement. The brand hands Cardi B a $60,000 bag. She posted on Instagram, and suddenly everyone wants one. You think you're buying high-end fashion, but what you're really buying is celebrity hype.
Nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
And remember when Kylie Jenner showed off her insane designer collection? But how many of those bags were actually bought with her own money? And even if they were they really made in France or in a back room in Shenzhen?
Pretty much where I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house is on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
And it's not just celebrities anymore. Influencers are part of the game too. TikTok and Instagram are packed with unboxing videos showing off luxury hauls. Most of them are PR gifts or paid deals. These creators are making big money promoting bags they didn't buy, all while pushing the idea that you need designer labels to matter.
Unbox my latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get one bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Meanwhile, the brands are cashing in, selling $600 bags for $26,000 just because you saw it on your feed. Now let's talk about the Birkin trap. At some point, owning a Birkin became the ultimate status symbol. But here's the twist. Hermes doesn't let just anyone buy one. You can't walk in and grab it. First, you have to build a purchase history. That means spending thousands on scarves and belts before they might offer you the chance to buy a bag. That's not luxury. That's a luxury cult, and people are lining up for it.
You know, you walk into Hermes and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be Hermes customers. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy one per year.
Let's not forget the resale game. Just a few years ago, people were flipping Birkin bags like real estate. But after Tanner's expose and the factory leaks, prices are dropping, and fast. If the exclusivity is fake, the quality is questionable, and the bags come from the same factories as knockoffs. Why would anyone still pay full price? Buyers are nervous, resellers are panicking, and investors? They're starting to see these bags aren't the gold mine they thought they were.
I've been speaking to this client here regarding selling her Birkin 30 Gris Etane, if I'm not wrong. Gris Etane is the color, and it's palladium hardware. The bag is in box fresh condition, but it's Y stamp, which means it's a 2021 piece.
Now here's something wild. A lot of celebs and influencers wear dupes, but still tag the real brands. Why? To stay trendy without spending thousands. Some insiders say stylists even buy fakes, tag luxury labels for clout, and still get invited to Fashion Week, all for keeping up the illusion. Because in this game, it's not about what's real. It's about what looks expensive.
Kendall Jenner is wearing a fake Louis Vuitton fanny pack and she didn't know it. I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why I know that this Louis Vuitton bag is fake.
So when you see your favorite celeb with a luxury brand, don't assume it's real or that they care if it is. The branding is what sells, not the bag.
None of this jewelry on my arm is real. Don't love me because of no diamonds. Take all this. This bracelet right here look real as a... This shit was $23 on Amazon.
So who's really winning here? The brands? Still cashing in? The celebs? Still getting paid? The influencers? Still receiving free products and invites? And the customer? That's who's losing. You're the one dropping a month's rent on a label stitched in China, all because of hype pushed by people who didn't even buy it. So ask yourself, are you paying for quality or just chasing an illusion?
Here's the truth. Trump's tariffs, they didn't hurt the American consumer. They hurt globalist corporations who are overcharging Americans, all while profiting off of huge profits by cheap labor. And now they're getting exploited by the very factories they exploited themselves. So if you're a small business owner, this is your moment. You can work directly with suppliers, you can build your own brand, and cut all the corporate snakes out of the equation. Just know what you're doing, because not everything is worth buying in bulk. But hey, the opportunity's there, right? Tariffs didn't fail, greed did. And Trump warned us. Now it's all coming to light.
But this story gets even crazier. Hermès isn't just panicking behind closed doors anymore. They're going full legal attack mode. Yes, the brand is now suing several Chinese manufacturers who exposed them. And it's not just one lawsuit. Reports say Hermès is targeting multiple factories that dared to speak out. The charges? Things like defamation and misuse of intellectual property. But let's be real. What they're really mad about is getting caught. And the timing couldn't be worse. With the US cracking down on Chinese imports, brands are being forced to show where their products really come from. And Hermès? They could be hit the hardest, because when most of your so-called French craftsmanship comes from Shenzhen.
It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. Put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
I thought you know this brand. No? Yeah.
I like a European.
It's bigger than your brand?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not like the biggest, but it's like mid-size. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a big problem. This expose didn't just call out one brand. It cracked open the entire luxury industry. Luxury isn't about quality anymore. It's about image. And when that image breaks, so does the empire. Hermès isn't just saving face, they're fighting to survive. Because once people start asking questions about where these bags are really made, they won't stop with Hermès. Louis Vuitton, Prada, Chanel, all of them are next. Now Hermès is scrambling, pointing fingers, filing lawsuits, trying to silence the truth. But it might be too late. The genie is out of the bottle, and the internet doesn't forget. So now that you know the truth, are you still going to spend $20,000 on a bag made in the same factory that ships your Amazon order?